Hi, I'm Dave. This is the Cyderbaby pod, and I am talking today to Fallen Mafia. Hello.
Hello.
All right.
Introduce yourselves. We'll start with the ladies.
I'm Ruth. I play guitar.
Cool. I'm Chris. I play guitar as well.
And I'm Edos, and I play the drums.
Awesome. You've got a new single coming out this week.
We have
Who's
indeed,
gonna,
yes.
Who's going to tell me about it?
Go for it. I'll give it a spiel. Yes, we've got Broken coming out on Friday. First single that we've released since 2020, I think. So really excited for that one. First and probably a few singles that we might release over the next year or so. So yeah, exciting times.
Are you planning on an album, or are you just staying with the single route for now?
Well, we've had a lot of interesting conversations about it. We've toyed with the idea of albums. It's that very traditional sort of way of working. It's what everybody's used to and stuff like that. But for new artists, it's just incredibly hard to get anywhere in the market with an album, unless you're out on the road gigging all the time and stuff like that, which just isn't feasible. It'd be nice, but it just isn't feasible. So we'll see. We'll see. I think we like the idea of a physical item as well. So
yeah.
You had an album out in 2020. I mean, just tell me a little bit about that. I mean, how well did that go?
It was quite good. It was our first one. Bit of a learning curve, huge learning curve for us, which was good, and can't really complain about anything about it. It did reasonably well.
Yeah, that was recorded over a period of time, that one, though. It wasn't just like a set. It was just like over maybe a year and a half kind of thing.
I think something like that, yeah.
Let's bring Ruth into the conversation. She's very quiet there in the corner.
Yeah.
You're the new girl.
I am, yeah. I can't start on anyone's toes. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. So when did you join?
It was right before Christmas, I think, wasn't it? The audition.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, just about a week before Christmas.
Yeah. So I just I like submitted my audition tape, if you like, and rocked up. I think we had like jam through like about 4 songs or something, and I got the job. So here I am, learning the back catalogue at the moment. But yeah, I just can't wait to start gigging and stuff, really.
Do you think you're going to bring something new to the band? Are they going to let you in that door?
Yeah, I hope so. I really like obviously writing, recording your own material and stuff. I've been in like a bunch of bands over the years where I've kind of done that as well. So I don't know, I really like the recording process and things like that. So yeah, I'm hoping that we can kind of, once I'm kind of settled in and stuff, got the set learned, ready to go, then we can kind of kick off writing some new stuff together, which would be pretty cool. So awesome. Yeah.
Broken. Tell me a little bit about the single itself. What's the story behind the track?
So I'll go again with that one. So it was written during lockdown. Music was written by our other old guitarist Stephen, and the lyrics, I think, Edis, you worked on those with Hannah, didn't you?
Yeah, Hannah done the majority of them, and I just chipped in with a little bit here and there.
Yeah, basically it's about a vessel to sort of deal with trauma and sort of emotional situations that were going on at the time and that kind of stuff. So it's a very, very sort of raw and meaningful song.
Okay. You did send me another track. Are we allowed to talk about that as well?
It's in the background. Yes, we can pique some interest, but it is a TBC.
Ah, right. So I won't mention any more then. So there is another track coming, but that's all I can say. Shocking. You're as bad as White Raven Den. I had this conversation the other day with them, and they said, "No, I can't tell you the name of the track." That was heartbreaking.
Big secret, man.
Secret.
You have to wait and see. That's the point.
You're gonna have a little sweepstake going with the fan groups and see who gets it right first.
Possibly. We did an interesting thing just over the Christmas and New Year where we emailed everybody who was on our mailing list a private link. So they've had some well and true behind the scenes of access to those songs as well. So some people have actually been fortunate enough to hear them both already, those ones. So
I see.
Sign up the mailing list, and yeah, you too might be privy to some new tracks.
I see. Okay, what about that eternal question? Gigs, have you got many coming up?
It's an interesting one. So we've got a few in the pipeline, and we've got a few later on in the year. What we wanted to try and do was really just to get this bedded in. We didn't want to sort of put too much pressure on anything like that. So we've purposely left the start of the year quite quiet from the gig front. We did have a few in which have managed to unfortunately get pushed back already before we even got to announce them.
Right.
That's from good old mate COVID. But yeah, watch this space. Watch this space. Fingers and lots of pies at the minute.
That sounds interesting. You don't care to elaborate any more on that either, do you?
I wish I could. I'm going receding hairline from the lack of elaboration. I want to
Mate,
share
when
some
you get
stuff.
to my age, that's when you got to worry. I mean, no, it's fairly well covered by the headphones, but yeah.
hence the headband.
Is that right? I may look into that as a fashion accessory myself.
I need to start doing that as well, I think,
yeah, maybe. I mean, people of my age, that could be quite a merch idea, you know. Maybe a Fallen Mafia fedora or a bowler hat or something like that.
Bowler hat. No, there's a one.
Do you know anyone who prints them?
Sorry?
Do you know anyone who prints them?
No, but I'm sure if you search the internet, somebody will come up with an answer.
Sure they will.
It's a pretty niche item, like printed bowler hat, though, isn't it?
You heard it here first. I will be asking for my percentage. Everything's gone quiet. Come on, you've got to have something.
I know. It's been so long since we've done this kind of thing. It's trying to get back into the swing of things. So apologies for
no. Don't need to apologise. That's what the edit button's for.
Oh yes. I forgot you have that power.
Yes. That's the only power I have.
The godlike power.
Godlike power. Yes.
Okay, Ruth, is there anything you want to discuss anymore, or?
Not really. No, I mean, I'm pretty new, so I'm just kind of finding my feet. You know what I mean? But I think we're ready, like, to gig. Well, I mean, we have some.
You've said it now, Ruth. That's it. Gigging.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting close anyway. So, but no, I'm good. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting writing, really. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the next stage.
Yeah,
we've got quite a few songs ready up our sleeves, so we'll see.
Okay. Are you getting enough radio play? I suppose the answer is no.
With the Broken release, we're working with a PR company.
Yeah.
Who have done a really good job so far. We seem to be getting quite a lot of hits on different radios and stuff like that. So the momentum's starting to build on that side of things.
When's that actually out for release?
Friday, this coming Friday.
This Friday. All on the normal streaming sessions and.
Yeah, all the normal streaming sites. We've got pre-save links up for Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, and Tidal at the minute.
Right.
Kicking about all over our Facebook pages, so the social medias and stuff like that. So if you want to have a look, then have a look on those pages.
Absolutely. I'm still stuttering here like a broken record. Broken
record.
Yeah.
I like it.
I can see it's going to be one of those evenings. You had a single out in 2020, Stars. I was quite impressed with that.
So that was brilliant. It was one of those things where we went against all advice and released in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
With nothing else. So it's just like, no, we needed and wanted to release something just for our own sanity. And the good thing is, I think people bought into that. They understood that it wasn't a money-making scheme. There wasn't an ulterior motive. It was just we'd wanted to release something. We had a song there that we were proud of and wanted to get it out. And it's done brilliantly. By far, it's been one of our most popular songs. Certainly on the streaming sites and what have you. I think it's kicking up in the late 48,000 streams or something like that.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Tremendous, absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
For us.
Almost buy a beer with that.
Yeah. Between us.
Yeah, one
beer, 5 straws.
Yeah.
We do it anyway. We're poor musicians, you know.
Yeah. With things like that, though, it's for us. It's all about reinvesting it into something different. So where it hasn't been a big cash earner, what it has done is it's meant that we haven't had to pay admin fees or anything like that when we're uploading other songs and submission fees. It's all helped into that. It's all one big pot, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose this is the evolution of the music business itself. I mean, bands like Wargasm and people like that are just putting out singles now, like yourselves are going to this year. It's just about creating that buzz rather than having that physical product at the moment.
Yeah, so people clamoring for new stuff, aren't they? You know, so
the good thing is when you go to gigs and stuff like that, the CD doesn't die. People do want to buy CDs. They do like that token of the gig, whether they take it out of the packing or not. Who knows? But there's always going to be some sort of demand for it.
Yeah, I think that's more the vinyl, isn't it? It's just like, oh, I've got to have this 12-inch vinyl. You never play it because you don't want to get out every 20 minutes to turn it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to Stars and comparing that to Broken and comparing that to your first album, it's quite a growth. It's quite a maturity of sound, shall I say? Would you agree with that, or?
Yes, I would. Yeah,
I think so. I think when we wrote the album, we were a 4-piece, and a lot of the album was I was going to say written by me, but that's probably not quite fair. But there's maybe a lot of influence in terms of my sort of basic structures of the songs. I came to rehearsals with basic ideas, whereas when we became a 5-piece and started moving into the realm of Stars, Broken and stuff like that, it's more of an idea. And that idea comes together and Adis has some inputs and says, "Oh, have a go at this, play this on the guitar." And when you should hear us in the studio, we're making all kinds of weird noises to each other, trying to replicate what we think the instrument and whatnot should try and sound.
We need more wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, or wicked chicka, sounding like a wappa papa papa, all that kind of stuff. And it's just great. And so it's naturally evolved where we become more involved in the creative process rather than it being just one person doing something.
So yeah, I mean, many bands are a closed book, shall we say? You know, one person and that's it. I could say Magnum, for instance, Tony Clarkin's the sole songwriter in the whole band. I mean, 20 odd albums. But when you've got a collective coming together, you can create so much more, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it gives us a lot more diversity when we can pull sort of sets together that are maybe heavier towards more the metal side. We can pull them together where it's a bit more easy listening, softer kind of stuff. It just gives us that ability to play to the venue and what's going on as well.
When you started the band, did you envisage this kind of music, this new wave of classic rock, or did you feel you wanted to go somewhere else with it? Or
I think it's an interesting one because when it first started, it was what could be classed as sort of cock rock, kind of that kind of 80s kind of vibe, glam, I don't know, sleazy type sort of stuff, and it's just naturally evolved and matured as we've gone on to something a little bit darker and more modern. And I think it sort of fits in quite well with where we are collectively in the music industry, whether that's new wave of classic rock, whether that's whatever sort of genres that's sort of kicking about. I think it's more of just a collective space for the type of music that's been created now.
Yeah. Okay. Where do you see yourselves going in sound, just as a more broad spectrum, shall we say?
For me, I would probably like to try and explore more upbeat stuff, but still keeping that kind of dark sort of vibe to it, and just seeing how we can evolve and explore different things in terms of different tempos, but still keeping that layer of mystery, if you like. So it's not just a nod straight back to the 80s or anything like that. It's a lot more considered. It is my sort of thoughts anyway.
Well, the other two haven't screwed out any papers and thrown out any ideas at the moment, so you must be all thinking along the same lines.
For me, like I think like looking at the new songs and having like a kind of inside review of them versus the older stuff, like on the old album, I feel like it's kind of pushing in that direction, you know. It's going a bit like bigger, more kind of anthemic rock kind of, but still also keeping that kind of dark mood that like kind of Fallen Mafia are known for, I guess. So I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm really excited about like the next phase of writing and stuff. I think it's, yeah, there's some really cool ideas being knocked around and stuff. So yeah, see what happens with them, I guess.
I think one of the things as well is we don't like to force stuff. So we've had, over the years, we've had loads of different songs, and over the last year, we've got loads of bits and pieces of songs that we could have forced into something and we could have just got it out. But we've just sort of shelved it and put it on the back burner, and some of them just really scrapped it all together. It just didn't work. Which just gives us that opportunity to do things as we want. So when I'm saying maybe we want to go down that, I would like to go down that more upbeat, up-tempo stuff. It might be that actually the music just doesn't evolve in that way naturally. And for us, I think what works quite well is where it's that organic evolvement, where it's just building at the pace that's so comfortable to us.
Okay, so final question: if you were going to pick one song each that would define your band, which would you pick?
Damn.
Now, the look of shock and horror when I ask this question, everybody does the same.
It's a really difficult one. I'll let one of you guys go first, so I'm not yabbering all the time.
Yeah, I'm not go first.
Just give me a chance to have a think, stall of it.
Personally, I would probably go for something like Breathe, because that felt like it was a bit more of a turning point in the way the music was going. So that, like, from what we were doing before and then Breathe, it felt like something completely different, if that makes sense. And it sort of turned us into a different corner.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that as well. I think for me, it's probably Nymph, because it's one of those songs where it's that crossover. It's got that kind of nod back to where we were with the old band sort of music, that kind of stuff, where it's more like the classic rock kind of stadium stuff where you can feel it, and then it goes into that heavy, more anthemic stuff that we're starting to move towards now. And for me, that's the crossover bit, and it just goes down so well with playing it as well, which is always really cool.
No, it's all right. I think for me, probably Stars. I mean, I really enjoy playing that one. Like, it's such a cool kind of riff to play. And I think that's kind of, for me, where the level of complexity and all the different layers of writing kind of comes together, and it's more like apparent, like a kind of different style of writing maybe. But yeah, that's probably what I would say. That's my favorite play at the minute anyway. So yeah, I'm definitely playing them all the time. So yeah.
Okay, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to speak to me.
Problem.
Fallen Mafia, thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave. Thank you.